Vlog number 100, and I need to check if the camera is running. 120, and let me share you this. Let me share something. This morning I had a little conversation. By the way, if you watch this, there is a reason for the fact that I don't get too deep into details, because you know it's pretty much a waste of air and or typing. This guy is a good guy, I'm gonna tell you that up front. Know him for a long time, so in case you watch and you think, no Dylan, that's not very nice that you don't tell me that straight to my face. No, it's not like this. I prefer to say it on the camera so other people can listen to it and also benefit from it. And let's say even, you know, even also if I would say it to him, maybe he gets offended and or, you know, get discouraged. I've run into so many people, and I made people also cry, because let me also, when it's about making people cry, it was about they start working for me. So that was the thing. But those people were so weak. Like I said in the past, I made a lot of mistakes by hiring people that I thought that they had some sort of a skill. They don't. So when it's about this guy in the morning, he started doing a little bit of exercising thing, and he sent me this message. I'm not gonna pop it up, but he said, oh yeah, this was actually the agreement, but I didn't respond on the agreement for one single reason. He said, I will send you a training video. I think he said it yesterday or the day before. I'm not sure about it, but I did not put a lot of attention to it. I also actually did not respond on the fact that he told me that he would send me a training video, because I don't want my head, my thoughts focused on this, because that leads to disappointment. And what happened this morning, he said, I'm in a lot of pain, or he was in muscle pain or whatever. And the thing is, that's why he could not send the video. So what if idiots like me would focus on this, and then I already know, because I know this 13 steps, 1 minute thing is way underestimated by a lot of, let's say, quote-unquote normal people. So this is the thing. He started doing the thing. He promised to send me a video, but he was too much in pain. But I am not the kind of guy that you send me when it's about, let's say, a little bit physical pain or something. You know, I'm not the kind of guy I'm gonna say, yeah, now you know what, take a few days off, take a rest, because you need to be careful, because you know, maybe your knees will hurt, maybe this. No, make everything hurt over the top. So for example, me, I'm always thinking which parts of the body don't hurt too much, and then I still slaughter them so they hurt more than the rest. But that's me. I'm doing this for a long time. But so for example, he also said, you know, and again, this is nothing bad about him, but I know that it's normal people behavior. But I squeeze it out like a fucking lemon, because it doesn't benefit anyone sharing how much pain you have and how much. No, so I said to him, no, you never met pain. And then he said something, that broken arm, not good for you. Anyway, I don't care how much so-called, let's call it a little bit, naya, in their case, pain, then you need to push through. And this is my message to normal people who work the 9 to 5, step into the real world, start making yourself suffer. And also I want to say this, people who go on fucking holidays to escape reality, to escape the misery of their jobs, because that's why you go on a holiday, you have to escape your reality. But you go back and then you're 20,000 times much more depressed, because you had a little bit of taste of something. People like me, we're not going on a fucking holiday, we're gonna live where we want. I want to live in Sofia, Bulgaria, so that's why I'm over here. But, you know, to get back to the story, when people send me, see, most people know they should not come to me talking about how bad life is and you know, a little bit the normal people stuff. And this is again nothing against normal people, but you know, the people that know me, they know they should not complain about, I got a little bit muscle pain, I got a little bit heartbreak or whatever. You can mention the thing, but then tell me what you do about it. You know, I can say so much stuff from the past, that actually you know, that proves really that I am very resilient, and probably for a lot of people I probably seem to be very cold and harsh, but I am not. I just try to pull out the best from people, and I'm not putting attention to anything that actually would encourage the weak part. And it's simply, I don't want to listen to this. It's the same also, and it's a little bit off topic, when I speak with other people, their children, they know I treat them like adults. I don't speak to them the Google Gaga language. Of course I keep a little bit my directness and cursing part to make points a little bit, you know, on a lower edge. In general, I can get along with a lot of children. And by the way, in case you think that sounds freaky, no, I'm not into that kind of fucking bullshit. Because for a couple of weeks ago, somebody placed a comment also, you know, about the calisthenics spots, and he said, yeah, like a predator, you hang around over there. Well, I just deleted the comment because I don't even know what to say about this, because the most disgusting thing in the world is, you know, he didn't accuse me, but, you know, the weird talk. But that's normal people talk. No profile picture, no nothing, no content. I couldn't see who it is, so coward. And if you watch this, yeah, that's how I think about it. And the thing is, when it's about speaking to children, a lot of children, like I said, their parents are over there, and I can get along with a lot of children, a lot. And I treat them as adults. Anyway, let's get back to the topic of people who are a little bit in pain. So when you're a little bit in pain, the first, let's say the first week, just push through it. You start actually embracing life a little bit. Nothing comes for free, and the more you suffer, the better. And this is something what I also think, the more and the faster you do it. Let's say you're in pain, you double the amount. You know, you do it, you divide. Let's say if you do five times the 5 sets, you divide. No, you cannot divide 5 really. So you make it, and if you would do 6, 3 in the morning, 3 in the evening. Let's say, but you squeeze through the pain like this. Don't focus then also too much on your body. You know, you train your brain. You just push it through. And you know, when it's about building the mind to make it resilient as possible, prepares you also for being more resilient, let's say in business and in real life. You know, you start learning how to push it through. And this is something what I would like to say. Some people say, yeah, but I don't want to start, I'm already too old for this. Talking to a 35-year-old fucking fart. I'm 46. But the thing is, the earlier you do it, that you start suffering, the more you start, you know, the earlier you start building this character. And building a character, I'm telling you, that opens doors. There's a reason for that. I'm, you know, meeting a lot of people from different levels of society, because I do believe, and I'm not saying that I'm the toughest character, that I have the toughest character on the planet, but we suffered from a very young age. Constant stress, constant push down into the fucking ground. And I'm not getting too deep into this, but we are used to this. We love to suffer. And with we, I have a stepsister, and now yeah, maybe she is not as hard as me, but the thing is, I am very harsh on myself. So let's also make that very clear, you know, in case you think, no, Dolan, who the fuck are you? Well, I could tell you a lot of stories, but like I also said in previous vlogs, I don't want to put people, let's say in a negative daylight. But of course, I will share events that actually prove that I earned my stars, let's say it like this, from the guy upstairs. And I always embraced any kind of misery. Because even when I was in miserable places, you know, I even looked at other people that I want to absorb their events. Because, you know, even when I'm I want to suffer more. I want to suffer more to become more resilient. But at the moment, I am pretty resilient. I do believe this. And now that's done a little bit about me. But when it's about putting attention to people who talk about their little problems, and yes, for other people they are big, but don't talk about it. You know, when I have some sort of, I have one big thing going on, and I'm not going too deep into details because it's still going on. That is in the first place nobody to talk about, because nobody, okay, very high level people have been in this place, in this position, but you know, there is nobody I would share this with, because most people, and is one of those sayings, they prefer, I don't know how the saying is really going, but it's something like, people like that other people have the problems. I don't know what exactly the saying is. Maybe if you know, just drop it in the comments. The thing is, people don't care, so why would you share it? And like I also said before, you know, sharing negativity does not any good. You speak about something that you don't wish upon other people. You don't want to be in the situation. You don't want to ruin the little time that you maybe have with this other person. So there's no positivity about sharing your so-called problems. And that's how I think about it. And when it's about this 1 minute set, you know, after a few days, yeah, then it starts to hit. But with this guy, I think it already started to hit after 3 days. I don't know how many days. I also don't want to put too much attention to it until, let's say, after 3 months you would say, I did it so far every day. See, then it proves something to me. You know, you can see it. People, their skin start glowing more, etc., etc. You're not gonna fool me. The thing is, then you get my attention. So, endurance, longevity, that's really the game, right? But also, like I said yesterday, pinch through the boredom. Let's say after 6 months, you know, you think, okay, this starts to get very, very, you know, very boring, because now I'm doing this already for almost 6 months or maybe a year, and it starts to feel, you know, very tedious and boring. But that's why I said also yesterday, you add between the sets, jump rope, you can add a lot of other things, you can even double it. So now it's 13 steps, you double it to 26 steps. So you do every single rep inside this set 2 times or 4 times. So like this, you start growing like a fucking ox, in a good way. You get very strong and you get more air in your lungs and you start thinking different. And like I said, everything is about putting in the work. Because also this guy, he said, I would like to see result tomorrow. See, those people, and I'm gonna say this, and that is nothing, again, that is nothing negative towards him, because I know as a normal guy, very usual stuff, you know, in the past. The thing is, what I want to say, don't focus on, you know, I want it so fast, I want it so bad, because you're gonna lose the battle, you know, in your mind. You have to start thinking like this. I do believe this. You're gonna build a house on a very solid concrete fundament, which includes your mind, your body. And the moment that your body starts to get more harder, the things getting more imbalanced, you lose your belly, your legs get a little bit in shape, your ass, your shoulders, and it goes along with your mind, you know. And that's also something. And let's talk a little bit about testosterone. I said multiple times when I was 35, and also even when I was in the 40s, now I'm 46, the thing is, I said multiple times, if I would lose my level of, let's say, insanity or obsession things and that I can feel that my testosterone is going through the drain, I would take testosterone, but I'm not. Because I talked also with multiple people, they all say, and of course maybe there are a few million people on this planet that would highly disagree, but okay, I talked with local people a couple of months ago, and they all said, yeah, your balls, they shrink. Well, something that I don't want is that my balls are, you know, going through the drain. And yeah, when testosterone, when my testosterone level would get so low that I'm not getting horny anymore or something like this, when it's about that, everybody knows, people know that it's far from, let's say, mediocre. So if I would go on testosterone, maybe I grow a little bit, but next to that, you know, the moment that you stop taking it, you get a little bit depressed in your head and all that kind of stuff that you don't want. I do believe, you know, when you put in the work, you see the physical results, your mind had to grow along with it. And I do believe when you do the testosterone, you know, your body gets faster, but your body of your mind stays a little bit behind. And I'm not saying that testosterone people are retards, not at all, because it looks great on a lot of other people, but it's not for me. For me, I am focused on building a resilient brain and character, and the body is, let's say, collateral damage. That's how I see it. My mind, my character first. And that's the same also when it's about, in my case, when it's about women. And I'm gonna mention the example again. Once I was visiting somebody he invited me for a dinner. I never met the other people, and then he said, "Isn't she beautiful?" But that was a weird, awkward moment. But you know what? I would never say that somebody's beautiful until I actually spoke a little bit with that person. You know, some people are so empty, but so beautiful on the outside. You know, they are not beautiful to me. Yeah, for a lot of other guys who, you know, yeah, never get their fingers very wet or never made their, you know, had a lot of variety in their life. Yeah, maybe they would say straight away, yeah, you're insanely hot or whatever. But I want to listen first to how they speak, and then let's see what happens. Shit, it starts to wind. Wait a minute. Damn it. I can also never find a spot because yesterday I was walking across the street and those cars. Anyway, and that's character. And when it's about character, I had exes. Yeah, they had very colorful past as well. I always figure out somehow, yeah, you know, that I meet those people. You attract what you are, right? But you know, those were, yeah, a few women were very beautiful also on the inside. Went through a lot of bullshit where normal people probably already would hang themselves, you know. But this, yeah, let me think about one example without actually that she would think that I would talk about her. But this person went through so much bullshit. You know, a lot of people would hang themselves, but you know, she was driving around with food for dogs in her car, and this is, I think, very nice. You know, because this person didn't sit in the corner and cry and like, oh, I'm a girl and this and this. No, trust me. But I cannot tell the whole story because then, yeah. Anyway, something else. I don't know. I think I'm gonna do this vlog in 2 clips. I really want to talk about this little chat of this morning. You know, don't want things instantly. Everything what comes instantly will also go very fast. Nothing is like an overnight success, right? It's the same with doing business, building a business. You know, this morning I started quote-unquote working at 2:15. You know, I just woke up and I just want to start. So, you know, and is the work till what I did till 6:15 this morning, is there a lot of result? No, because you know I was working on the scenarios to automate more stuff. Is there an instant result? No. Did it tire me? Yes, a little bit, but who gives a rat's ass? And I don't want to go to sleep at daytime. We only have today, and tomorrow I never know. You know, you never know. I'm not going to sleep. And the thing is, even if I would go to sleep, you know, I need to train. And you know, I'm going now for a coffee to stay a little bit more awake, eat something, and then I'm going to the stadium to train, and I'm gonna shoot some videos. And the thing is, let's imagine if I go to sleep, you know, then I would miss those compounding actions, because I'm uploaded on TikTok, YouTube, and you know what? The content is simply stacking up. Do I have the million of followers? No, I don't yet. And if you follow, don't follow, help me out, people. And the thing is, I will continue this. I will until the day I drop, just until it works. So probably I have to change a lot of things, like the format, maybe a little bit more exciting stuff, sitting next to the pool, and or involve other people in my videos. But let's see. I'm a little bit cautious about who I'm gonna put in the video, also for the first time, you know, a serious one. So yeah, that's a lot. I'm thinking a lot of things through. You know, like I said in the past, you know, when it's about hiring people, it was more from the heart. Oh, you my friend, you can do this, or you can do this. Or, you know, somebody started working in the bar for me, and I asked her, you know, how much do you want to earn? No, yeah, I remember, I think she said at that time $450, and I said I will give you $650 without actually, you know, I was a dumbass. I'm the worst manager on the fucking planet. I even started cooking for people who were working in my store, you know, that's ridiculous, it's idiot. But that's why I'm sharing a lot of stuff with you guys, so when you start making a little bit money, you don't get all, or maybe you will recognize some of the things that I mentioned in my vlogs, and when it's also about characteristics. See, now when you hang around with the people and you are both in a 9 to 5, you got time with each other, you complain about your boss and you talk about your greatest holiday. But then when you step a little bit out of the normality, yeah, see, then the jealousy starts, then life begins. You will see, you will build more energy because you train, and then you attract negative and positive. But then life starts, you know, you get exposed to the world, because if you ain't cuddled up in your 9 to 5, you know, you go to your work and escape in your holiday, yeah, there's not a lot of things that you get exposed to. The same thing I do believe in, no, I don't believe, I know, that, you know, for example, you bang your first girlfriend, you knock her up. So, sorry for if I offend any kind of woman over there. I'm not some kind of, I don't know how to pronounce the word, I don't know what. But I'm not like this. But I speak reality. And people who just knock their first girlfriend up. I know so many people who did this. They're not together anymore. But not only this, how would you ever know that she's actually the one? You know. And of course there are limits to the game. But to stay with your first girlfriend ever, yeah, that sounds like a classical romance story. But trust me, there are 7 billion plus people on the planet. Okay, cut it in half, I don't know the exact numbers. Let's say 3.5 billion women. Okay, maybe you're not interested in all of them, but there is probably 1 or 2 that you would fall in love with head over heels, you know. And that's also, and let's talk a little bit about relationships. But you know, all my exes can say, he never pinched me down like, oh, you cannot go out. I had also a very long relationship with one. She went out pretty much every weekend. Did I care about it? No, I actually really didn't care. I think it was actually nice. So, but I could do my own stuff. But yeah, just saying. So once you also start developing a little bit character, you know, you start opening your eyes. Everything like regarding blossoming and opening your eyes and see more opportunities. The world will open in combination with building resilience, character, and you know, you want to have the air in your lungs. Breathe life. You only live once. And of course, along the way, people will start, you know, maybe resenting you, getting jealous. Maybe you break up a couple of times, you cry a couple of times about it, but you know what? Break up more, so you build this elephant skin, right? The last one, last year, with this one I was, I think, 7 months. Did it bother me a little bit? Yes, it did. But did it stop me in my daily habits? No, not at all. And also the reason that I left is, you know, we're not getting into this one. I don't have, even a couple of weeks ago we did a coffee. I don't have any feelings with this person. Not anything. Because done is done and you move on. See, I built this elephant skin. And yes, my first breakup, that hit me at that time when I was young pretty hard. You know, I cried my eyes out. But you know what, it's good. Because you get the opportunity to grow into this. And it would be, let's say it like this, if I would be still with one of my first long relationships and I would be now 46, we would have maybe children, get divorced, because you know, you bang each other for over 20 years, you get fed up with the bullshit. And then I don't think it's only about crying, you know, because it's going to be your first big breakup. You have children in the middle, you got probably dogs and cats and maybe hamsters, parrots and all that stuff, and maybe a house that she will take away from you. So that's way worse. But the thing is, build resilience. Don't think about, especially when you're young. And I thought about this this morning. Yes, I did a lot of bold things. Yes, maybe I should have things done different, a little bit softer and or less aggressive or less this and this. But you know what? I did everything pretty much all over the top. And yes, I had times that I thought, no, you messed up. And when I the last time lost everything when I was 41, trust me, I felt like a fucking failure. I'm gonna tell you again the story. The thing is, when I was 41, maybe it was at 42, I was, you know, I didn't eat for a couple of days. I found a place where I could get some water, and that water was contaminated, and I shit almost in my pants, and I was sick, and I was sitting somewhere in the corner next to a very busy street. Well, trust me, you feel like a fucking failure, but at the same time, I put a camera in my face and I just talked about my thoughts, and I thought this would be good material for later. See, that's how I was thinking. It's good for the story. Also, when I stayed in a fucking garage because they kicked me out in one apartment in Malta while COVID was happening and I couldn't go back to Bulgaria. The thing is, that's another story. I got a lot of stories, but then I stayed in a garage without a toilet, without any, it was humidity over there, there was no there was nothing, stinking, but who cares? And I actually did film. I also put 2 whiteboards on the wall. I got pictures, I got proof of everything, and it's nothing is fabricated. And the thing is, I knew already it's gonna be nice material for a story. And when it's about storytelling time, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit now like this, when I was very, very hungry, I did something very embarrassing, and that is selling the gold that my father gave me and my mother gave me, my adoption parents. I had to sell it because I was starving. The thing is, and at that time when I sold it, I did cry, and I filmed myself. So you know, I thought it's good material for later, emotion in the videos. So, but you know, I never cried like, see, it was more like that I felt ashamed, you know, that I couldn't manage my life and or whatever. The thing is, I thought record yourself. It's good material for later when you're famous. Damn it! Fucking wind! Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking. This is the first clip for today. I also keep on rattling, but I'm at the sweet spot of 29 minutes, 30 minutes. Okay, ciao for now.